And welcome back. We're back and we're talking about bots right now. Yay! Look how excited we
Love
are.
bots.
You love bots. Everybody loves bots.
Yeah.
And with us is Priyanka, who is a solution architect at Franklin Templeton for all things data science, AI, and machine learning. And she will help us build a bot to automate all of those tedious tasks like replying to frequent asked questions or downloading and sending reports. You know about downloading and sending reports. Nobody wants to do that. And she's using Azure Cognitive Services and the bot framework for that. And just before we get started, I just want to remind everyone that we have a code of conduct for this event. You can find the code of conduct on azureday.community. It's in the navigation bar. And if you notice any unsavory behavior in either one of the chats for the 4 sessions, I think, that are going on right now, or on Twitter towards our speakers or towards our attendees, then you can reach out to me or Henk Boelman, and our contact details are up on the website as well. So without further ado, Priyanka, please get started.
Hey, thank you, guys. All right, let's jump right into bots. So we'll be discussing about building enterprise bots with LUIS and Q&A Maker. We'll shortly touch base upon what does LUIS, which is fondly we call as Louis, mean. Okay, and this is a bit about me. So I basically work a lot with natural language processing, so processing text, unstructured data, voice recognition, image data, and stuff like that. And if you want to connect with me, you can always do so at my Twitter handle, which is @fuzzymind1. The agenda for the talk would be something before we actually talk of Louis or Q&A, these are part of the bigger Azure Cognitive Services universe. So that wouldn't be possible without, having a brief intro about cognitive services. And then a lot of people during my talks or my hands-on lab sessions are asking me that, are we doing AI? Are we doing machine learning with cognitive services? So I would just like to give a very, small explanation about cognitive services vis-a-vis machine learning. And then we would jump right into our Louis and Q&A and how, they can empower our bots. So when we talk of Azure Cognitive Services, they are basically pre-packaged APIs. So pre-packaged software delivered to us as APIs, which we as back-end users or end users or developers can leverage them. So just it's like a call to an API, and then you get all of the AI facilities in your application, right? So whenever you're looking for very generic use cases like face recognition, image recognition, video analysis, or speech to text, so convert to text as you're speaking. So those kind of facilities which are very generic. All right. So for all these kind of use cases, you need not write humongous amount of code and train your data on platforms and then build a model and then consume the model, because these kind of machine learning capabilities are universal, right? So what these cloud platforms they strive to do is they pre-package these models with pre-trained data, and you just need to consume the services which are provided by the model to get all these generic use cases. And what do these Azure Cognitive Services do? So they can create applications that are capable of hearing, speaking, thinking, understanding, and even reasoning to some extent, right? So you have vision, speech, language, decision making, searching, news search, those kind of capabilities your applications can have with Azure Cognitive Services. And when we say machine learning, right? So what is machine learning? Machine learning is something which your rule-based programming cannot do, right? So you cannot write a rule-based programming statement to achieve your end goal, and that is why you leverage the computing power of a machine to identify patterns in the data and predict something based on past data and stuff like that. So a machine learning system, it requires some knowledge or knowledge and data science. A lot of data, you have to build algorithms and stuff like that. Cognitive service, as I was saying, is pre-packaging all that machine learning and delivering it to you to use for some generic use cases. So when you have very custom requirements or you want to tailor your requirements to your specific needs, for example, I might want to have a kind of service in which I want to train my bots or my systems on voice recognition for one particular set of users belonging to my company. So that becomes a very specific use case for which I might not, completely rely on the cognitive service, but I might have to define my custom models, have some custom data to that effect, and then use them. So that is where machine learning comes into picture. All right. So just a thumb rule: if you have generic use cases like face recognition, image recognition, speech to text, you can easily leverage on the capabilities of cognitive services. But when you have very specific custom needs, and that cannot be actually done by your normal rule based programming, that is when you have machine learning, and you have Azure machine learning services, Databricks, Spark, ML, and those uses. The type of cognitive services which Azure gives us are decision making. So you have personalizer, anomaly detector, content moderator, web search, which is news search, video search, image search. So just put an image and tells you about what this image is about. All right. Language, which is text analytics, Q&A maker, text translator. So of this, I would just like to shed light upon text analytics. It's like extracting sentiments from your text. So whether you're talking about is something a positive sentiment, negative sentiment, are there any named entities in that particular text? All right. So those kind of things. Speech is speech recognition, translation, speech to text. Vision is computer vision. So if you feed an image, it will, if there are any what you can say text in the images, it will extract the text. Then if you provide printed forms to it, it will recognize the total, the invoice. If you give an invoice to the computer vision, it will recognize the total bill, the charges, and stuff like that, receipt number and stuff. So yeah, so that is computer vision for you. All right. Before we move on to LUIS, LUIS in our use case, it's basically used for training bots. Okay, so language understanding integration services, that is the full form. So we are using LUI for training bots. Now, what are bots? Bots are the current industry standard for solving user queries, and they can do a variety of tasks. So check whether traffic reports, give us scores, play music, and we are all very cognizant with Alexa, Siri, Google, and all those voice assistants which are indispensable to our modern day work life. Okay, so but what is it? Why NLP becomes so important for bots? So bots can do all these things like booking or reservations, or even the banking bots. Whenever you have the credit card bots, they can do all those cancellation of credit cards and stuff like that. But what is it about bots that it actually, in most of the scenarios, finally there has to be a human, interpreter to step in and then actually take over from where the bot cannot actually service our needs. So that is something where it comes to natural language processing, and that is something which has become the very crux of bot development today. And most of the AI conglomerates are striving to do this. How can bots achieve human level intelligence, or that level where we cannot separate them from actual human representatives, service representatives? So what it is for, when we look at a conversational AI experience, what it is that we are looking at. So when we say conversational AI, that is combining skills and context. What that actually means is, let's say I have already created a voice assistant or a bot which is telling me weather reports. All right. So now if I have to ask that bot to go and give me maybe traffic reports or music playlists and stuff like that, so it should, I should not have to retrain it. Now it knows that it has a skill that it has to go and fetch. It knows how to go and fetch weather reports. Maybe why not it can extrapolate it to something similar. So it has to just now, instead of getting weather reports, it has to go and fetch maybe news updates or my music playlist, right? So they not only learn about one particular skill, okay, but they can extrapolate that skill and learn about something new, okay, and understand that context also. So for a weather report bot, if I'm trying to ask him to book dinner reservation or make reservations to a cafe, then it should know that I am talking out of context. Okay, it should know how to map our words to steps that it needs to carry out. So keywords like cancellation, booking, reservation, change, all those things it should understand and take steps accordingly. It should also have give your personalized experience. So you have bots which greet you with I mean, like, for example, in my organization, when a user logs in, then he is greeted according to his designation or according to maybe the national holidays that are going on in his geographic location, so stuff like that. So it just gives a very personalized experience to the end user. And apart from that, it has all the usual machine learning capabilities, like able to understand the intent and hold dynamic conversations. So lot of times I'm sure that all of us have faced this situation where a bot is not really able to interpret what you're speaking. I'm sure we've banged our head a lot of times on credit card bots, especially where they don't understand whether it was a spurious transaction that was done, or you want to cancel your credit card, or you are asking for a credit card waiver. And how many times I mean, I don't know how many times all of us have faced this, I did not get this, could you please repeat again, that kind of a scenario. And finally, after maybe umpteen attempts, you are finally handed off to a human user, and then you have to repeat all that same stuff again. All right, so this is an area where NLP comes into picture, and that is why to improve the entire conversational AI experience, you have this entire branch of conversational AI with Q&A and Luis for enhancing and imparting better skills to the bot. Before we move on, so Microsoft offers a bot framework and registration channels, cognitive services, storage for, I mean, all these for building a total, bot experience. So you have ways in which you can create bots within a few steps. Okay, just to get a bot up and running within a few steps, and then you can keep on increasingly iteratively adding facilities to it. So the entire bot frame somewhat looks like this. So we have this input mechanism. So either we could speak to the bot, you could type, you could tap, okay, or you could have some kind of graphic exchange with the bots, and the channels could be our normal channels: Skype, Messenger, Internet, Facebook, and stuff like that, Telegram, or it could be devices. Where laptop and smart homes, IoT devices, and stuff like that, smart vehicles, and all these the input from these channels and devices are going to the cognitive services which are hosted on the cloud, and plethora of cognitive services. We saw speech, Q&A, language, vision, could be individual, could be each of them working in tandem with each other. So for example, when we have bots, normally speech to text, LUIS, Q&A work together hand in hand, right? So we'll feed this input to the cognitive services. They will perform the integration, they'll perform the machine learning part of it, and then finally the result will be outputted. It could be something like an end action, which is like booking a restaurant, making an appointment, sending out an email, something like that. Or it could be an end result which could be just stored into a database for further processing, okay, or it could be passed on through to a third party assistant. So whenever I have a flight booking bot, it will finally connect to maybe the flight website, and then the website will take it from there. So this is a bot framework experience we get. And the bot life cycle is, you of course design, you build, test, publish, evaluate, and that is a recursive step. So evaluate, there are some things missing, or there are some misinterpretation, distortions, and then you again enhance your bot and follow the life cycle again. There are a few important steps when you design bots. For example, voice is not really always a must-have thing for bots. The most important capability of the bot is that the user should reach his end goal with minimum number of steps. So it doesn't matter that your bot is enhanced or infused with a lot of NLP, or has excellent voice capabilities or translation capabilities. What matters is how well can it service your users' needs with the minimum number of steps. Coming back to language understanding services, All right. So what LUIS does is it allows us to add NLP to our applications. It allows us to quickly build a up and running language solution. And it is something, again, iterative. You can test it, and whatever missing scenarios, you can just add it, train the model there and then itself on the cloud, again, publish it. Okay. And it is easily, integrated into your applications, IoT devices, and it is easily since hosted on Azure, it is available worldwide. Okay, and then could integrate easily with other Q&A bots, commercial bots, FAQ bots, those kind of scenarios, which is what our use case will be for this session. Okay. Why this LUIS specific thing came into picture? The driving concept behind this is when we communicate with users across businesses. So when I'm talking to someone in a department store, or when I'm talking to someone at a reception desk, or when I'm talking to a bank teller for that matter, does it matter that I need to have some kind of a domain knowledge? It's not, right. I mean, if I am at a grocery store, I would just ask the cashier there about how much this costs, or where can I find this kind of product. Same thing for a bank teller, and same thing for a receptionist. Like, how do I find this in a mall, for example? So how do I find my way across to this particular shop, or how to go, blah blah blah, those things. So I don't really care to what kind of users I'm talking to. Okay, so my level of knowledge or my greeting, it is the same when I'm talking to people. What if you could achieve the same with bots? So for example, when the user is speaking hi, hello, or whatever, the bot is understanding that this part of the sentence is a greeting. Now he's asking something of what is the weather. He knows that he is talking about getting information about the weather. Then the bot should understand. So if I just ask what's the weather, the bot should understand that yes, she's asking me about the weather, but there is still a missing piece of information about location, or for which city, for which state, for which country, for which geographical region. So these kind of things the bot should sense it is missing, and then again prompt you back with, can I know which location are you talking of, and then finally lead the user to his intended end goal. So if this kind of thing is achievable with bots, you can imagine the amount of automation which is possible, and the amount of ease with which different tasks could be handled. All right. So if you read the following sentences, say what is your name, or just your name. How do I call you? Sorry, I didn't catch your name. Something like that. So in our human context, human speaking context, whatever the question which you read, you still get the intent behind that. The intent is I'm trying to know your name, right? So LUIS does the very same thing. It uses the power of machine learning, artificial intelligence, to solve the problem of extracting the meaning from your natural language input. Even for, say when I have to book a flight, it could be I'm just saying I want to book a flight, or when is the flight from so and so to so and so, or when can I get the latest flight, or the earliest flight from this location to this location. So all these intents, whether in some or the other way, they are going to specify a flight booking kind of scenario, right? So any application that is talking to the user, like a chatbot or a dialogue system, so they can pass this sentence to the LUI service, and the LUI service will in turn extract the intent and then tell you what to reply next. Okay, so it could be another question, or it could be an action of for what the user requested, something like that. So when we come to LUIS, there are four things which we need to be considering. Utterances, which is like input from the user that the app needs to interpret. Intents, so like the intent was for booking a flight, or the intent was for getting a weather information. Okay. Then entities and features. Utterances is the text which I utter, like booking a flight, or I want to go to Paris. Okay, so this is a travel intent, or I mean something, the intent for which my bot is programmed. Okay. The entities are, for example, when I am asking the bot to book from X city to X city, so those are the entities. Could be geographical location, could be complex entities, could be a list of entities. Okay. And features are the clues to help the LUI identify the example utterances. So we'll see all of this. Okay. So if you look at this chart carefully, the sample user utterance could be book a flight from something, some city to some city, or book a flight to Seattle, right? The intent is booking a flight, and the extracted data is book a flight to which location, or when does your store open. When I'm intent is the hours, the opening hours, and the extracted data is the time, like when does your store open, or schedule a meeting with so and so in so and so department. The intent is schedule meeting. So these intents are something which we need to program. I'll show it to you on the Azure portal, LUI portal, how we go about it. Okay. So this intent in something these utterances also we feed to the LUI, could be, possible list of utterances which we have. Schedule a meeting, book a meeting, put a calendar invite. So all these things would be related to the intent schedule meeting, and the extracted data would be the time, the name of the person. Okay. So the LUI's model based on utterances, intents, entities, we can use pre-built or custom models, and you get a query prediction endpoint to test your queries. The type of LUIs entities are machine learned, list, okay, pre-built or regular expression. Pre-built entities are something like, age, date, time, geographic location. So these are pre-built entities in which I don't have to really specify a custom data type or a custom entity. Regular expressions are, matching expressions where I can match entities like whenever they occur in a pattern. So date time will always be a date time. Now age will always be a number. Birthdays will be always dates. So something like that, right? Machine learned entities are inferred from the utterances which we give. So what is the weather in so and so city, right? Or can I know the address of this particular location, this particular shop? So that entity, it is asking for a geospatial location. So it is a geographical location, could be street name, city name, province, pin code, and those kind of things. So these are machine learned entities. For example, when I'm saying book a flight from Seattle to Cairo, the top level entity could be travel action, and then it would have sub entities like from city to city, from location to location. Okay, so this is how AI understands and interprets these entities, and further we can fine tune them if we don't find them in cognizance with our understanding. So simple entities are something like, I'm saying book me a flight to Rio on Contoso Air, which is the name of the airline. So I know that it is the name of an airline, and that is just a simple entity, right? List of entities could be airports, the list of airports like Charles de Gaulle Airport and stuff like that. So airline is the name of the airline, because you are not going to book on multiple airlines. The final booking is going to be on one particular airline. But airports could be a list. There could be hierarchical entities in which, for example, when we say address, it is street name, block name, pin code, zip code, country, and stuff like that. Composite entities are when, I am talking of lot of stuff together, like book so many tickets for so many people on this particular date. So it is all related to booking information, but then I need a lot of information around it: the date to travel, the number of tickets to book, the time of travel, whether I'm traveling alone or adult, and number of children. So these are composite entities. Okay. When you go to the LUI portal, you find a lot of pre-built models there, which can be used for generic scenarios like reservation bots, right? You have calendar bots, you have web search bots, in which you train. The bot is pre-trained on searching the web for images or for news and stuff like that, right? So you can have a lot of pre-built domains, entities, and intents. So pre-built domains are actual pre-configured domains, so end-to-end, where you have, for example, house automation domain, wherein turn on the lights, turn off the lights, turn on the TV, those kind of instructions. Pre-built intents are what we are going to use for escalate, cancel, go back, repeat, feedback, those kind of things. And entities, as I was talking about, like age, location, name, dimension, email address. So these things we don't really have to build them custom again for our requirements. This is something like our data types available which we can use, unless we want to define our own entities. So for Luis, the best practices are some of the best practices are, you have to give it a lot of utterances. So for a booking flight kind of scenario, just don't say one utterance like book a flight from XYZ to ABC. No, you have to give a lot of utterances which in our normal real life we could actually, speak to the bot. So it could be something like book a flight from A to B, or I want to travel to so and so, or I want to know the nearest airport. So all these utterances would, point to the same intent. So you have to be very careful when you program your intents, your utterances. Okay, so you minimum begin with 10 to 15 utterances per intent. So only the book flight intent you would maybe program 10 to 15 utterances. Each utterance should be contextually different. Like you cannot just, give the same sentence again and again. Turn around the spellings, turn around the tense, maybe, and not every time you will be very specific about book flight from Cairo to Seattle. It could be just nearest airport. What is the earliest time for this particular flight. So all these things you should take into account. Okay. And also, keep a none intent. None intent is like for the bot, when it doesn't find a matching intent, it should have a fallback option. So it should say, sorry, I don't understand this, and could you repeat your question, or could you word it differently, that kind of thing. So the none intent, like not matching to any of the available utterances, should also be there for the bot to gracefully hand it off. So it is very easy to add NLP capabilities with LUI portal. Before we move on here, I would just like to show you a small, working demo for uh, LUI services. So it's a very, beautifully, pictured demo here. So you have a house here, and then the lights in the different rooms of the house. All right. So living room, kitchen, dining room, and stuff like that. And you have the different intents here. So these are some of the preset intents. All right. So this is something which I have already used to program my bot. Otherwise, you can also give any of your custom words here, and then it will interpret it. And then when you click on apply, it will take appropriate actions. So this is a home automation bot wherein, it will turn on and off the lights as per the commands. So let's say if it is sleep time, it is going to switch off all the lights. But if I say I cannot find the remote, then it is going to on the light in the living room. Or then it's I'm going to watch a movie, same thing. Or then I need more light for cooking the food, right? Then it would maybe turn on the light in the kitchen, something like that. So let's see. So I am saying I am sleepy. Oh, sorry. Let's see. I am saying I am sleepy, right? And let's apply this, and let's see what our bot does. Please note that, because the computation is going to take place in the cloud, it is going to take a bit of time. So even in your web applications, just be careful about where you create your resource in the geographic zone and where your application is being hosted. All right. So when I say that I'm sleepy, and then I apply it, see, it closed all the lights. All right. So it closed all the lights here. Now I am saying maybe I need to cook. Let's see. I'm not sure whether, it will understand that intent or not. But when I say I need to cook, it has, put on the light in the kitchen and maybe also in the other rooms, but in an energy saver mode. Okay. I am saying I need to work. All right. Apply. And then it would just turn. Yeah, so now you see that when I say I need to work, whatever the possible locations where I can work, it has increased the intensity of the light. All right, maybe let us try more the pre-programmed intents also, pre-programmed utterances also. So something like I need more light to read my book. Then where in my drawing room and stuff like that, yeah, it has increased the intensity of the light. Okay. And then I'm expecting guests, again same thing. For the the drawing room or the living room, it would yeah, put on the light. So now see, when I said that, it also put on the light here, because guests, right, so they will be coming at the doorway, and then yes, so that's why even the doorway light has been put on. Go to energy saver mode. Of course it will uh, dim all the lights, or yeah, yeah, so it energy saver mode is gone, like only the door light is left on. Okay. And this is something like yeah, just mm, hilarious stuff here. This is like call Batman, so that's why the light on the roof is on for calling Batman. This is some just quirk in the programming. All right. And that brings me to a very important aspect. You can impart personality to your bot, right? So whether you want the bot to be strictly professional, you want the bot to be friendly, you want the bot to be witty. So when you impart this kind of personalities to your bot, you can actually, expect it to do small talk in that particular way. So a professional bot, for every intent it doesn't understand, or every utterance or small talk like hi will respond with hi, or when I say good day, it would reply back to me with same to you, stuff like that. But you can play around with personalities like witty bot or friendly bot. And then so what if I ask a professional bot what is your age, it may respond to me saying no, I am a bot and I'm not programmed for this kind of purpose. But a witty bot would answer to me with something like I'm ageless, something of that sort, right? So all these capabilities are pre-programmed for small talk. And on top of that, there are these utterances which you are going to provide, which are very specific to our context or the use case which we are trying to solve. All right. So yeah, so this is how the Louis will interpret your custom or the pre-programmed intents which are trying to achieve. Now let us see our enterprise bot, in which is a flight booking bot, which I have been talking about so long while giving you examples. So this is the bot emulator. It allows us to test the bot in a non-production kind of scenario, because I'm not really at liberty to demo the production version of the application. So bot emulator framework, what it will do is, what kind of conversation flow goes on between the bot and the end user, we can actually test it on the emulator. So this is my bot emulator framework. And so my bot is a flight booking bot. I can briefly show you the JSON file, which is a collection of intents, right? So intents are, my bot has 4 intents, which are book flight, cancel, get weather, and the fallback intent, which is the none, right? So now when I'm saying book flight, right, book flight, the utterances could be book flight from New York. So these are the sample utterances. Book a flight from New York, book a flight from Seattle. Okay, book flight from London to, so something like I'm just giving a book a flight, then I'm giving book a flight from, book a flight in, book a restaurant, book a hotel, book flight from London to Paris. Okay, so these are the sample utterances, and each utterance I am trying to associate it with one of the with not pre-program, with one of the intents which I have defined. So book a flight will point to intent book flight. Book a flight from New York, still book flight. Okay, but again now here, when I'm saying book a flight, intent is book flight. I have not specified anything, so no entities. Book a flight from location to location. Okay, so then the bot will know that okay, entities are not specified. My second action would be to get the location. Here it is book a flight from New York, so it knows that the entity from is specified, but to is not specified. So the next action of the bot would be something like asking you from New York to which place, right? And these are the sample, and so on and so on and so forth it goes. Okay, there are other utterances like book a hotel in New York. Intent is pointing to none, which means if I, out of context, if I just ask him to book a hotel in New York, my bot for our demo purpose is just going to give me, sorry, I don't understand this, could you please reword or repeat again, stuff like that. All right, so this is how to give you a basic understanding. Cancel booking, the intent is cancel, exit, right? Then find an airport near me. The intent could be book flight. I'm airport near me, so it was intent could be booking a flight. Okay, so yeah, things like this. Let us see it in action now. So this is my emulator. Okay, then yeah, I am this is the bot will always help you out, like what can I help you with today. Say something like book a flight from Paris to Berlin. but I just said book flight. Then it asked me, where would you like to travel to? Let me say, no, let me give, yeah, Paris, right? Where are you traveling from? See, now I specified the two location. Where are you traveling from? Maybe Singapore. Okay. When would you like to travel? Now let me just say June, something like this, right? I'm sorry. Then it will, give me the entire, the full message. Like, to make your booking, I need so and so information. So right now there's no validation checking. Like, I can put a past day or a future, a way into the future date, and still it won't stop me from proceeding. But yeah, I mean, this is just a sample which we are seeing. So let's say June 29, 2020, and then it will give you a confirmation. So please confirm, I have you traveling to Paris from Singapore on 2020 something something. So yes, is this correct? What else can I do for you? Let us try. I'm just, and then your utterances is not matching any of the pre-programmed scenarios. Sorry, I didn't get that. Please try asking in a different way, right? And then it sample intent, it said was intent was cancelled, but no, it was not. Or maybe, yeah, let us say I want to go to Seattle. Then again, it knows that, yeah, earlier I just said book flight. Now I'm saying I want to go to Seattle, but it recognized that my intent was still about booking a flight, and it is asking me the same things, like where are you traveling from, traveling to, the dates and stuff like that. All right. So this is how, you go about giving utterances. And when you want to have small talk with the bot, you have to use the Q&A maker service. I'll be going to that shortly, to impart personality to the bot, witty or professional or, friendly, something like that. Okay, so let us see from the LUI portal how you're actually programming the entities. So this is the LUI app, okay, and these are some of the resources, the services which I created. So this is the VACD demo app which I created, the flight booking app I created. Okay, now I will just show you how you can create your own app and how you have the pre-built entities and stuff like that. Maybe I just create a new app for conversation. App name would be demo app, culture English. So this is just test, give some description. Okay, and I will create, I use one of the pre-created resources. Okay, done. Once it creates the app, it will give you, yes, all right, I know. Okay, so, and then see here, it is going to give you intents. Create your intents. Like, intents, like in a home automation system, your intent could be switch off the light. In a reservation system, your intents could be book a restaurant or book a cafe, in which area and stuff like that. Okay, then you can add, or you can add a pre-built domain intent which are already existing. Like, if I have a calendar, meeting application, where I need to see if calendar is free for the users, and accordingly make appointments or schedule appointments, cancel appointments, those kind of things. So if you want to use one of the available intents, like in case of calendar, you have accept, entry, cancel, change, delete, find calendar, where, duration, meeting room, right? In case of communication using mails, you have reply back, forward, okay, check messages. In a event of call, you have dial, confirm, end call, speed dial, those things, right? Feedback, email intents, right? And then you have a home automation system for notes, one notes way. So these are a few of the common applications in which we are using bots, right? So for email communications, making calls, speed dials, calendar entries, reservations, and bookings. Okay, so places, yeah, getting the reviews of the place, making the call, rating the place, okay, prices, yeah, or to-do list, to-do item, add to my to-do list, or remove item, or mark as check, show next page, these kind of things. Utilities, right? Like repeat, for voice bots, repeat, reject, loop, those kind of things, show next. So you can use those pre-programmed, or you can create our own intents. Okay, so my intent in my case, which I programmed here, was book flight intent or cancel intent. Okay, so once you have created an intent, okay, you can add utterances to that intent. All right, uh, or I mean, if you don't want to actually go about creating intents and entities, you can use the pre-built domains, which are end-to-end applications in themselves. So maybe, I want a email bot service, and then in that email service, I shouldn't say bot service, email language interpretation service, or home automation, or most use cases are for calendar and reservation. Or this is restaurant reservation, but I can use this pre-built entity, and then using this pre-built entity, I can add my own modifications to that. So let's see, if I add the calendar, right? If I add this domain, the pre-built domain, you will get all the list of utterances there, and you will get all the list of intents there. Okay, so I added a calendar domain, and then you have options for train, publish, test. So train is, you're going to actually train the app on all the utterances, intents that you have programmed it for. All right, so calendar will have entities for making a, blocking your calendar or canceling an appointment and stuff like that. Okay, so when you're training, so now this is green, which means it has been trained, and then you can straight away test it. So type a test utterance. You could just, so uh, for example, I really don't know, what it will give. So it is like, the intent is, when I want to book a meeting, the intent would be first find a meeting room, right? So it replied back to me without matching intent, so I have to find a meeting room first. When I find a meeting room, then I'll proceed with the blocking the meeting room, or let's say cancel meeting. Then yes, delete calendar entry, it matched that intent, and it also gives you the probability with which, it is confident that my utterance has matched this particular intent. So it has matched this cancel meeting with the 97% confidence, which is pretty high. And for book a meeting, it find a meeting room, probably it was like confident with a 56% probability that I was looking for finding a meeting room kind of intent. Okay, so this is how, you'll go about programming entities. When you say, so since I already chose a calendar scenario, calendar event, you have the entities here: calendar, destination, duration, end date, time, location, meeting room, move earlier, like move the, and then you can also add here your own entities for your own custom scenarios. Okay, then intents also, if you go, it has already pre-programmed intents here. You could create your own. If you click on the intent, you can see the utterances which are here. So for example, for the intent which is accept event entry, the sample user utterances could be: accept this lunch meeting, I will attend the meeting at 2 p.m. tomorrow, I want to attend the meeting for review, attend the meeting held at so and so, attend the celebration party, I will attend a meeting this afternoon. And then from this utterances, it is deriving the entities. This is the start time entity. This is the a meeting room entity. This is the subject for what the meeting is being held. So our utterances is made up of intents. The intent is accept the meeting. The accept meeting intent is made up of further entities, which is like the purpose of the meeting, that is the subject for which the meeting is held, the start time, the end time of the meeting, the meeting room. All right, and then, so when I say accept this lunch meeting, or I want to attend meeting for review, it knows that in both these contexts, lunch meeting and meeting for review are the subject of the meetings. Okay, so when I'm saying I'll attend the meeting 3 p.m. next Tuesday, or 3 p.m. tomorrow, or conference center or room 304, it knows that these things in this context are nothing but meeting rooms, like locations. All right, so just see the power of LUIS and the kind of NLP information it is going to extract. Okay, and so this is how, you are going to add NLP capabilities with the LUIS portal. And this is absolutely available as an API. Okay, so you can just publish the app and get the endpoints and start consuming it in your application. This is, the logic flow. So when I'm saying what happens, when I'm saying make booking, or when I'm saying my sentence, the user utterance, then how it is going to take the I mean intent. So what we discussed, it is going to extract the intent, the entities and stuff like that. Okay, so we already saw the demo. Quickly, Q&A maker, there is nothing, so conceptual like LUIS about Q&A maker. It is just like Q&A maker, you are feeding a set of question and answers for your particular use case, and then enabling small talk capabilities. So as I was saying, it could be a professional bot, it could be a witty bot. Okay, so it is just whenever you have static data, so static information like technical FAQs which we have, forgot password or I want this kind of a file. So whenever user have same queries and the answer is going to be the same across, right? I'm getting, yeah, okay. So I was getting a disturbance. And then when you have this kind of static information, or when the answer to all the set of users is going to be the same, so you are going to, ask the user to log a service ticket for the, for example, for some particular error, or you want, a bot to manage all the mundane tasks, which rather, so rather than the admin assistants booking, making a booking for each and every meeting, or blocking the calendar rooms, if that could be done by a bot, so they are left, left to do more productive work, right? So this is something which, you have set use cases, set scenarios, and the type of actions are not varying. So when I say that block meeting calendar, it has to block the meeting calendar for 1 hour, 2 hours, or whatever the duration of the meeting. So no two ways about it. I mean, there's no different meanings for what I want to do. So in this kind of scenarios, Q&A maker is going to help us, right? So Q&A maker together with LUIS is a super powerful combination for building enterprise bots for lot of capabilities. Okay, so for Q&A maker, quickly we'll see the demo for Q&A maker. Q&A maker too, when you are wanting to create the Q&A maker, you can, I will show you how to create the knowledge base. So knowledge base, right now I have created the knowledge base for a home automation system, and I choose to input it from this file. Okay, so where you have the question and answer. So question, answer, and source keywords. So my question is, my light won't work. The answer would be, check something, something. And then a lot of, so this is a question and answer question bank. Okay, knowledge base, which I'm feeding to my bot to use, to answer my FAQs. Okay. And then when you are going to save and train it, so this is my knowledge base. So there are 95 question and answer pairs, so see, light won't turn on, check the connection, my light stop responding, restart. So these are the question answers of all the FAQs which I want my bot to have. Okay, now when I have trained the bot, so you have this train, and then when I'm testing it, okay, so just type your message here, and I may not type the exact questions. So it is going to extract keywords from my question and match it to the knowledge base that I have already used to train my machine learning model. So this is training in the cloud. Okay, and then I'm just saying hi. I'm doing a small talk. Okay, so just imagine, in my file here, I have not imparted any question answers regarding the small talk. The small talk comes from the personality which I choose to impart my question and answer bot. So I have made a witty bot. Okay, so when I say hi, it responded with a hey. Okay, then maybe say, I'm saying, how old are you? This is, out of context. I'm not taking any of the questions from my knowledge base, or not sticking to the topic. So I'm age free. Okay, maybe. And it also takes care of spelling mistakes. You need not bother about your. Okay, so I'm saying you are wrong. It responded with, I still haven't found the moisturizer that works for me. I don't know what that means. Okay, but it will obviously try to map NLP with some of the witty sentences that it has been programmed to respond with. Okay, and then I'm saying, my smart light stop working. There's a error, right? STPPED, but it's still, it took into stride, and then it is responding me with the correct thing. Restart the app. If the problem persists, contact support. Then I say, how to contact support. right? Then it is giving me email us at blah blah blah. Okay, and then you could say I cannot find the mail. Sorry. Okay, it is not able to, cannot find the mail address. It is not able to map that, and it is saying I'm omnipresent. All right. So play around with the possible combinations of can I mean, okay, let us try some the smart light won't turn on, and then it will again respond properly from the knowledge base. All right, I'll just show you how to, yeah, I'll just show you how we are going to create that Q&A maker. Okay, so if, yeah, here, and I create a knowledge base, I'll go here. So these are listing out the knowledge bases which I have used for my particular Q&A thing. So this is the knowledge base I created for the home automation purpose. Now here, if I want to create a knowledge base, right, you can see I have to select a subscription stuff. Okay, so maybe I'll select a subscription just to show how we can give. Okay, service, language would be English. Yes, will be maybe let's say demo. Okay, and then when we go about, okay, you can see it whether you want to train it, I mean add data to it from particular URL. So whether you have Wikipedia where you have those FAQs, or you want to add it from a file, and do you want to impart a chit chat personality to your bot, and there you can choose professional, friendly, witty, caring, enthusiastic, right? So yeah, so this is how, and then you create your knowledge base, and then you have tabs to test and train and publish your knowledge bases. Okay, so this is machine learning, right? You will feed data, then you will train the model, then you will build the model, you will evaluate the model, you will consume the model. Same thing, same steps go on here for the LUIS and Q&A maker as well. So yeah, so combining these both, it gives us a very powerful tool to build enterprise bots for a variety of purposes. You could we also enhanced it a bit further by using cognitive search services and a lot of diagnostic capabilities as well. Yeah, so that's about how we managed to build a witty enterprise bot. And yeah, so I'll be ready to take any questions.
I don't think there's many audience questions, but I have a couple of questions,
Sure.
if I may. So, is there any company or service provider where you're just like, oh, I wish that they would provide a bot for this process, because I really hate this process. I wish they just would give me a call and I can implement it for them even. Do you have anything like that to share?
No, I think I so this really lot of during this lockdown period. So there were a lot of restaurants which were not able to communicate their timings of operation properly. So this virus lockdown. So you never know like whether these are open or the information on website is correct. So most of the time when you connect to their numbers, either you don't get a response, or the line is out of order. So for those kind of things, I wish you would have a bot service which would respond like we are not operating at this time, and our operation hours have changed, or now you can order from our other branch located at so and so location. Yeah, so for especially for food delivery apps like
Right.
Foodpanda or Deliveroo, I think they would benefit from those kind of bots where they point you to locations instead of after placing an order or about to place an order, and then they say no, this branch is not operational.
Right. And you're available for gigs, right, Priyanka?
Yes.
So they can just hit you up in the chat and get it.
Yeah, sure.
Start from there.
Yeah.
Another question is, what bot got you started with NLP in the first place?
No, actually, the thing is, we have, a lot of these user requests coming in where the same thing, like users forgot the password. You have a lot of passwords for different applications, especially for the C-suite users, executive users, right? So they won't be actually going to the application and searching for a particular report. So they'll always be handing it off to the junior analyst. I want so and so report, and please get it for me. And then they will come back to the development team, and I want this custom report, which is nothing but the data already exists. It is just having to present it in a different way or extract it in Excel and give it to the end user. So instead of the analyst running between us and the users, so we thought that this is something which is already there in the application, just that the user doesn't know how to navigate his way through or get the required data. So why not use bots for this? And once we started programming, then came into the NLP obviously comes into play, because some would say extract to Excel, some would say save the report. This is how we stumbled onto the usage of LUIS, where we wanted to map user inputs to the same intents.
Yeah. Right. And you talked about home automation a bit. Do you have a smart home yourself? And do you have a bad signal? That's actually that's the main question. And I think JT will want to know that as well, as a real Batman fan.
Absolutely.
No. No. So,
I need one of those.
Yeah, but I have a smart home, yes, because so me and my husband both are tech gizmo freaks. Okay, so yes, we have a smart home. So we have Google connected, all devices connected to Google. Yes. But no bad signal. Maybe Wonder Woman, yes, no bad signal.
That'd be awesome, yes. Exactly, and please open source that as well then. Very cool. JT, do you have any more questions?
I just want to know where I can get a good moisturizer. And now a bot can't even help me.
Maybe we can ask the bot. So you need to ask Azure, because the witty personality is given by Azure. I have not done it.
Wow. We need to figure out who wrote those questions or answers. That's awesome. All right, then Priyanka, I want to thank you for joining us today and for your talk. We'll go into a little break, and if if you've seen the videos in our breaks one too many times, you can always go to JT's Instagram account. He's reviewing snacks while in lockdown in Melbourne, and they're hilarious. And I just saw him recording a live one. I don't know if it's up yet or if it will be up later, but definitely something to check out on Instagram. It's GTango18, that's 18.
Okay.
Sorry, had to put that in there as well.
Wow. I don't know that that's professional content, but
it
definitely is. It's vital content. Absolutely.
Sure. I'll go and check it out right away.
Hey,
yes.
Thanks so much, Priyanka. That was awesome talk.
Guys.
Thank
you.
you.
So much.
See you later.
Bye.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
大家好
Kamusta?
Servus.
Hi.
Hi.
Bonjour.
Jasas.
Hi.
Hoi. Ik ben
I'm
Floor.
Ryan Stropek from Austria.
日本からこんにちは。私は不破孝之です。
Ciao, sono Stefano Tempesta, dall'Australia.
Hallo, ik ben Albert Schot uit Nederland.
Hi, I'm Maarten Goed from the Netherlands.
Hi, kamusta? I'm Ruby Jane Cabagna from the
Hola.
Philippines.
Hello. Hey there.
Hola, soy Sebastián Pérez de Argentina.
你好，
Desde
我是
España.
胡浩，来自中国上海。
Hi, I'm Sarah Lynn from Scotland.
Bonjour, I'm Charlene from France.
Hello, I'm Ruth from France.
שלום, אני ערן ספילר, מישראל.
Bonjour, I'm Olivier. Hi, I'm Gilbert Cuveliers of Gold Coast, Australia.